You want to go home tonight? Good evening. It's Tuesday, January 27th of 2026. This is a Stoughton City Council meeting, and the first order of business is a roll call.
Okay. Abel.
Here.
Nino.
Here.
Caravello.
Here.
Bosniak Scanlon.
Here.
Sherlucky.
Here.
Hirsch.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Tillison.
Here.
Reeves.
Here.
Butler.
Here.
Schumacher.
Here.
And Viano.
Here.
Okay, we have 12 alders present.
All right, thank you. We are certified of compliance with open meeting laws. Nobody is signed up for public comment, communication, and presentations. President Schumacher.
All right, this time I have visuals up here. So I was looking through, as I was looking through the library's collection that we have for Stoughton, one of the things that kind of fascinated me was in the directories, the phone or address at that and phone directories at that time were to see the advertisements that they had included within all of those directories. So this is the earliest one that I could find. This one is an 1882 version of the directory on here. So I've snipped out a bunch of the advertisement from these directories in there so that we can see like the types of businesses that were present in 1882 and some of the families in that were then and probably still here. So you can just kind of poke through some of these. My intention with these is I'd like to do a series of these so that I'll go up a decade each time so that we can start to see like the transition of businesses that were on Main Street and see if the family names stayed the same or if those changed up. So this will be an interesting experiment to look through these also. So I don't have a tremendous amount to say in these, but just to see, what a lot of these were. This one for the on the next page here.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Holy cow. There it is.
This one for the Folks Drugstore, they included a poem in there, so I thought that was pretty funny. It said, in Stoughton, Wisconsin, at Folks Drugstore, you can find what you want and very much more. We keep drugs of all kinds right side up with care to cure all diseases which we are heir. Of stationery, wallpaper, and perfumery, our stock is complete. For oils and paints, mixed and unmixed, we cannot be beat. Our medicines always, when brought to the test, by good judges are esteemed and pronounced to the best. That was the only one with poetry in it, so. And we have to bear in mind that all of these were all hand-set type at the time, too, so. Say just like flip through them and just have a look at them. I mean,
You're not going to comment on each one of them?
they're pretty amusing in there, some of them, but just to see like, there's common things that we have now, and there are things, I don't know if we have too many tinware needs for things, but
Yeah,
which is kind of a fascinating foray into the past.
Yeah, I bet some people back then would quibble with the pain-free dentistry.
Yeah, that one I thought was kind of funny too. And then the the competition between the cigars. You know, one's got the fine wines and cigars, or fine wines and liquors and cigars, and the other one was just cigars. So
Temperance restaurant, what does that mean?
I don't.
Oh, is it, really? It was dry. I think that's it.
That is it. All right. Hope
All
you
right.
enjoyed that walk through nearly 150 years ago.
Yeah. Are there any communications from alders tonight? All right, we'll move into the consent agenda. There's a few items. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Wozniak Scanlon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Reeves. Would anybody like anything acted on separately? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. Looks like we have a second reading from Plan Commission, Alderperson Caravello. Ordinance 1.
Yep, this is ordinance 1 of 2026. This is the second reading, an ordinance amending chapter 78 to consider repealing zoning code section, general industrial district, and updating the name of planned industrial to light industrial zoning section district in the City of Stoughton Municipal Code. And I hope it's okay that I don't read the sub, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Not gonna read all the numbers.
And I so move. There's too many. Make
there a
it,
second?
make it easier.
A second by Jensen. All right. Alderperson Caravello, anything you want to explain?
Just as we discussed last meeting, this is generally to make general industrial zoning go away, because I think if I recall correctly, we don't have anything in there.
On that, there's not one property zone that. And then when we were reviewing the, for the comp plan coming up, we just changed it from, well, it's general industrial is the one that's going away. And right now, we do have planned industrial, which applies, it's being planned for. So we're just changing the name from planned industrial to light industrial. And then we currently have heavy industrial. So it's just a name change.
Okay.
And I could not get it converted over, so it's on the next page redlined as a Word document. And that's what we were discussing on how to do that. So it is like 300 pages, though.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed? That motion carries. Next one is a first reading, and this is from Public Safety. Alderperson Wozniak Scanlon.
This is an ordinance to amend sections 14-161 and 14-162 and create sections 14 through -164 through 166 of the Stoughton Municipal Code relating to amusement devices. Public Safety recommended approval unanimously, and I'm going to defer to Candy to give everyone a brief overview of what updates were made.
Thank you. I'll be super brief because I will turn it over to Attorney Manthe as he has a better description for this, but it's basically an update to our amusement device ordinance, bringing it more in line with what the DOR has in the laws, but I'll turn it over to Rick.
Right, so basically the ordinance better defines what these amusement devices are. So there's a license requirement right now. This just clarifies what devices the license is for, and also caps the fee. So there's a fee for one device and up to 5 devices. After 5, it's the same as if you were applying for 5. And there are some, I guess, clarifications about gambling machines, because the state prohibits any sort of gambling machines. If you have 5 or fewer, it's a $1,000 fine per machine. If it's 5 or above, that's a felony. there's literally only like one person in the DOR that enforces it. So
It's not you?
no. So it's not like we can permit gambling devices, so they're not covered by the amusement device license. So it's just really games that, like arcade games, things like that, that are being licensed.
Yeah, and I think that the committee put an emphasis on the arcades because we have a couple arcades and we didn't want to charge a fee for if they had like 30 machines or something and charge a fee. Maybe you guys can explain that conversation a little bit better. I wasn't at all the meetings.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. I guess Public Safety Committee, when we were looking at arcades and claw machines and any of these different type of amusement machines that were around the city, we tried to base that basically off of Walmart, understanding that Walmart's got a couple claw machines at it, but then if we looked at Ryan's Retro Arcade or the arcade that's in the Athletic Wellness Center where they have 30 or 40 to just keep it on par with its 5, we charge up to the 5, and then after that it was pretty much cool beans. Is that a legal term?
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I've heard Rick use that.
Okay.
Anything you want to add?
And just like on the licensing fees, like I think the amount is pretty minimal that any sort of lost revenue, Candy might be able to speak, but it's a pretty minimal amount that you're not going to be collecting. But the administrative costs of 5 versus 30, it's not much of a difference.
All right. Anything else from your end?
No, that's it.
No? Okay. So this is the first reading. If anything comes up between now and the next meeting, feel free to reach out to chairperson or one of us, and we can hopefully get you the answer. We'll go on to the next item, which is R7, and that one's coming from the Plan Commission, Alderperson Caravello.
And thank you. This is R7 of 2026, approving a conditional use permit for a group daycare center, which is defined as 9 or more children per subsection 78-102 sub 4 sub B to be located at 2400 Roby Road, parcel number 281/0511-062-2601-2, and I so move.
Nicely done. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tillotson. All right, Alderperson Caravello.
This is, as it reads, these folks would like to put a daycare at this location, probably most commonly known as the old Quick Trip, which was before that a PDQ at the corner of 51 and Roby Road, and passed planning unanimously, and seems like a good use of this location.
All right. Anything you want to add, Director Munns-Pritchard?
No, they just need to meet the minimum requirements, and they're gonna, for the conditional use permit, and they're gonna have to come back in for an SIP approval, but,
So they'll be back at the Plan Commission for their site plan.
yes, sir.
Yep. So that'll be exciting. They can expand their business because we have a shortage of opportunities, so it's a good thing. Any questions or comments on this one? Alderperson Reeves.
Just a question that may have been in the packet, but there were so many pages, I may have missed it. Did they already remove the tanks? They had done that before they purchased it? I was just curious more than
Yes.
anything.
Yeah, and they
So
came
they-
up at Plan Commission too, so that's
Yeah.
a very valid question, but all the tanks have been removed. And then just more of an FYI, Quick Trip really put some serious deed restrictions on the usage, what they'll sell to, as everybody here is probably aware. So they're really excited, the applicants are.
Yeah. They're going to take down the canopy too, right? I think that's what.
Yeah,
they
they're
said.
taking down the canopy, they're gonna be adding a gym to the area, and then it will have additional green space. Really, one of the main things we're looking for is how the circulation is gonna work for pickup and drop off, and, just a couple other things like that. But it's nice because it is adjacent to a residential area, so it could be walkable, for dropping off your kids. And then establishing hours of operation, essentially, just because it is adjacent to residential. But again, this was a gas station before, the lights and all of that, I think this is going to be way less intrusive, so.
Okay, any other questions?
If you haven't looked in at the plan of it, I thought it was fairly ingenious how they transformed that building into something with a completely different vision in it.
I'm going to just say it. I think one of my favorite comments was the requirements on the parking. And somebody pointed out that the children aren't driving during the meeting. So, because it's one parking stall for every 5 children that are at the facility. So we might be looking at that, just side note.
Never know, they might have a scooter or something.
I mean, that's true. But yeah, it'll have nice circulation in there for pickup and drop off. So I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Do they run the kids through the car wash before they send them home at night?
That also came up during the planning commission meeting. Car wash is going to be gone, but that was also brought up. So, yes.
Yeah. All right, anything else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is R98. Must be a leftover. Or it's R8, I should say. Well, I don't know where I got the 9 from. This one came from Finance, Alderperson Butler.
This is R8 of 2026 to amend the 2026 operating budget for mini grant extension, and I so move.
Is there a second? Second by Wozniak Scanlon. Alderperson Butler.
And Lisa may want to fill this in a little bit, but this is essentially to move some money that had been allocated in 2025 for some work on a historical property that didn't get done, and so this is moving it to 2026 and approving it early in the process so that it can get done, as opposed to waiting till later in the year. Did I sum that up kind of well, Alder
It's a
Reeves
landmarks
or
thing.
Director Trevatowski?
Well, I'll let Lisa address any of the budget-related things, but yes, what happens, for a variety of reasons with older buildings, sometimes they take out a wall or a something, and then one thing turns into 6, so it gets postponed, or the contractor gets backed up because of weather and those sorts of things. So I will say that because I've served a couple times on landmarks, that they have been really, I would say, being more proactive, working with the folks that are receiving this to make sure they're accountable in their timelines and that sort of thing. So there's a lot more due diligence as far as making sure the work gets done, and making sure that it's really out of the person's control, but they have a plan and a date. So I think it's improved from what it was probably several years ago in terms of accountability. But anyway, and then I think as opposed to just waiting to the last second to amend the budget, I think Nick has been bringing these forward more promptly, so.
Yep, so it was discussed with Nick, asking what outstanding projects there are, what would need to be carried forward again, right? So that we did this earlier last year, mid-year, I believe. So instead of waiting for that, like, oh no, we don't have the money budgeted, we still have this project, identifying it now, taking care of it right away. We know it's not going to get completed in '25. We had the budgeted expenses, and then just transferring it right away to 2026.
Any questions or comments on this one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. Next one is also from Finance.
This is R9 of 2026, approving a contract with Becker Professional Services LLC to update 2 existing blight surveys conducted in 2008 and 2009 for redevelopment areas 1 and 2, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by President Schumacher, Alderperson Butler.
Yeah, this passed RDA 6.0, and it passed tonight, finance by 6.0. It's, my notes say, since we're moving forward on the riverfront development, this is to resurrect this old work that's referenced to help move the process forward, and then when this work is completed, they're going to bring it back to RDA and council, and then, for informational. And then this will help us with potential future projects as well. And we do have Becker here.
Go ahead, Katrina.
Sure. Yeah, so this is to, to support the RDA in ultimately identifying new potential redevelopment projects. There are 2 redevelopment areas pretty much within the downtown area. These 2 blight studies were done in 2008 and 2009, so this would just be kind of going out and surveying the properties and updating it. A lot of properties have been improved or rehabbed since then, and so just making sure those are now designated as no longer blighted, and then updating any properties that might have become considered blighted in the meantime. Yeah, happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item number 12, that one also came from finance. Oh, 11? Oh, yep. Number 11 is from finance as well, yeah.
R10 of 2026, to amend the 2026 budget to reallocate operating levy to debt service levy, and I so move.
All right, who wants to second this one?
Second.
Second by Alder Reeves, Alderperson Butler.
And I'm going to pass the ball to Director Trevatowski on this one.
So earlier at finance, I was too technical with my explanation, so I'll try to just easily explain it. On the levy limit worksheet, there is a line adjustment that you can make for these single-family homes that would qualify. Long story short, in review that by the DOR, it was discovered some of those were duplexes, nullifying any of the single-family homes. So we need to remove that adjustment, but we can make an adjustment for general obligation debt like we do every year. So it's just increasing that. So it's basically transferring operating levy to debt service levy. So it's reclassifying that and making that change on the levy limit worksheet. Was that better? Okay.
That's great. Third time's a charm. Any questions about that? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, now we're going to number 12. That one was also at finance.
R11 of 2026, to amend the 2026 capital budget for Opera House boiler replacement, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by President Schumacher, Alderperson Butler.
As it says in the resolution, the CIP plan included monies to replace boilers at the Opera House. Unfortunately, one of the boilers had a difference of opinion with the timing and has failed. So in consultation with Brett, the decision or the recommendation is to delay some HVAC controls at fire and use those funds to be able to replace the boiler.
Questions or comments on that one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? And none opposed, that motion carries. And just so you know, we're trying to schedule a public hearing with the DNR, which would potentially be between the Finance Committee meeting and the council meeting, and it would be the second one in February, right? So we're trying to get that locked in. So we'd have the Finance Committee meeting, would probably go from 5:30 to 6:30 or whatever, have the public hearing on the permits for the downstream from 6:30 till whenever it's done, and then we would start the council meeting immediately after that up in this room. So we're trying to get that scheduled right now. So hopefully that can work out for your schedule. The alternative is to schedule another meeting on another night, and that week's pretty jammed up. It would take us into March if we were trying to corral the rest of the cats. So We're working on that, so you can look forward to that in February. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jensen, is there a second? Second by Caravello. All in favor, say aye.
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 And any opposed?